Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Addie, and today we are doing a very fun and exciting video. We are doing the end of year book tag, and I just love doing these types of videos because this time of year I feel like it's really nice to be able to reflect on like what you've done so far this year, as well as check in with your goals that you set at the beginning of the year, and then just see like what you still need to do before the end of the year. I love doing this time of year, so I decided to do that. So that is this week's video. But other than reading goals, one very important goal that I set for myself this year was to be more organized, because I can be a little messy. I'm a little cluttered. I am not ashamed to admit it. I'm a little ashamed to admit it. So I wanted to try my best to stay more organized this year. And thanks to the sponsor of today's video that has been made very possible for organizing my jewelry. Lolalet has so many different amazing options for jewelry storage. They genuinely have so many cute jewelry storage options that I like couldn't decide. And the one I ended up going with was this jewelry case right here. I love it so dearly. As you can see, it has so many great options for necklaces, keeps them safe here so they don't go flying everywhere, which I think is so smart. And then they have this hook up here to keep them separated and tangly, and as you can see from the side, I have some tangly necklaces. And then they have some compartments here, and I'm just keeping the backing, my earrings here, and a few bracelets. Have perfect amount of storage for my rings, so much storage for earrings, which is personally one of my favorite things to wear. My favorite thing about this box though is that it has a huge storage compartment here, and I struggle with storage in the bathroom. There's just not enough storage in that bathroom for all of my high maintenance needs, so having a space down here for whatever I want is been very nice. I decided for right now I'm gonna put my various perfumes and hair ties in there. I still haven't fully decided what I really want for this case, but we'll see. But I feel so much more organized with my jewelry. I can just see everything now. What I had before was nice, but it just wasn't big enough for what I needed. And also it's just so much more storage options, and I love it so dearly. Having this jewelry case has just helped me stay so much more organized, especially in like, if you guys have ever done like small apartment living, it's sometimes hard to keep track of all your stuff and keep yourself organized. So I've just loved it for those reasons. And I'm actually starting to like wear my jewelry. I have my necklace on today and my ring. I love having that case. If you are interested in getting a jewelry case for yourself, there is a link in my description, and if you click that link, you can apply a $5 coupon. So if you are interested, it's right there for you, and I couldn't recommend it enough. So thank you again for Lolalet for kindly sponsoring this week's video. So now that we've discussed that goal, let's get on to the end of year tag. So the first question of the end of year tag is, are there any books that you've started this year but you still need to finish? And I have two. And I think we all know what I'm going to say for the first one. I think we all know. And it is Oathbringer by Brandon Sanderson. I'm currently on page 345. And there are 1,200 pages, I think. So I have a long ways to go. And I just really want to finish this by the end of the year. First off, I like to finish a Stormlight a year. And I feel like that's kind of a good pace for them. One of my goals this year was to read an 1,000-page book. And that's something I would really like to hold true to. And I just love these books. So I don't know why I drag my feet on them. I just think it's so long, and they definitely intimidate me, and I definitely get fatigue when reading it, so I have to like jump around to other things. But I have the audiobook downloaded. As you guys know, I'm currently in my knitting era, so this is definitely going to be my knitting audiobook once I'm done with the other book that I also need to finish by the end of the year, which is Project Hail Mary, which I only have like 3 hours left of the audiobook, so this I know I'm gonna finish pretty quickly. And I just love this book so much. If you guys have heard me talking about it in the last few vlogs, so I'm hoping to finish that this week so I can move on to finishing Oathbringer by the end of the year. But I love this book so dearly, and I've just, honestly, the reason it's not finished is because I've been trying to savor it. So only have 3 more hours left though, and I just started the step-by-step sweater, so I am definitely going to be getting to this very soon. The next question is my favorite question on the tag. I love it so much. It's, do you have an autumnal book to transition to the end of the year? You guys already know. You already know I do. You know I do. I have 2 that I would love to get to. The first one is The Academy by Ellen Hildebrand. I love Ellen Hildebrand so dearly. There's been no books of hers that I've rated below a 4-star so far. I just think they're so just like comfort. They're just big comfort reads for me. And this is the first book outside of her Nantucket series, so I've been very eagerly waiting to get to this one. And it's autumn, so of course, at a boarding school, like of course. So, and I like that more than the summer vibe, so I'm very excited to try this book. This is currently on my November TBR, so hoping to get to this by the end of the month. I'm a little behind on my reading goals for November, not gonna lie. It's been a crazy month, but Thanksgiving break is coming up soon, and I'm really hoping to get some good reading done that week, even though I have a million assignments, because of course, why not? Another autumnal read I have is Hazelthorn, and this is not on the November TBR, but it is something I'd like to get to by the end of the year, just because I loved Don't Let the Forest In by C.J. Drews, so I would absolutely love to hop right into this. And I think I rated that one 5 stars, so I have really high hopes for this, and it's definitely something I would like to read in December. And I'm never done with the autumnal reads, never done. I'm very happy I have this in my back pocket. The next question is there a new release that you're still waiting for? I have a couple. There honestly isn't that many that are coming at the end of the year that I'm like dying for, but there are 2 that I'm dying for, and that's about it. But the first one is In Your Dreams by Sarah Adams. I just absolutely love the like Win in Rome series. It's just so cute, small town, and it's just like gives me the happiest feeling inside. I love these books so much. Beg, Borrow, and Steal was so good. And like they set up for this character's book in the last one, and I have been very excited ever since. No, this one comes out December 30th, so like it's very close to the end of the year, but I'm very excited to get my hands on this, and this will be a good one for like the last couple of days of the year to come out, because I could just squeeze in my last of my reading goals then. My very excited one actually came out yesterday, and this week has been so crazy. Like this is my biggest anticipated release, like of one of the biggest ones of the year, and I like didn't even realize, and that goes to show how overwhelmed I am right now. But it is The Strength of a Few by James Islington. I'm going to get my hands on this as soon as possible. It is the second book to The Will of the Many, and I just love that book. It was one of my favorite books of the year. I haven't been able to stop thinking about it all year, and this release is just one of the best fantasy books I have read in a really long time. Over just like top fantasy books, top tier for me. In the ending of The Will of the Many ended on this massive cliffhanger, so I'm very excited to get to this. The next question is, what are 3 books you want to read before the end of the year? I actually already started one of these that I put on this list, and that is The Second Death of Locke by V.L. Bovalino. I just started this for a vlog, so I don't want to say too much about it because you will see it next week. But so far I'm very much enjoying this. As soon as I saw it kind of being chattered about in like the booktube sphere, I knew I had to get my hands on it. It sounds so up my league. It is a knight and her mage, and I love myself a book about a knight. And it is a high fantasy, a quest of friends to lovers, romanticy. It just, everything about it really sounds up my league, so was very excited to get my hands on this and read it by the end of the year. Another book that I would like to get to by the end of the year is One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. This is on my November TBR, so really hoping to get to this. It's on my 2025 TBR as well. I've just had it on my shelves for so long, and I read The Night and the Moth and I absolutely loved it. This is like her very iconic series, and I would really like to read it. And it's just like a gothic fantasy, so I don't know why I dragged my feet on it, but it looks really good. The last book is I would really like to read The Fellowship of the Ring. This is probably what I'm going to be reading over winter break. The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit are just like a really big family tradition for me and my family to just rewatch them on Christmas. I don't know how that started, but we just love it. I love that tradition so much, and they're some of my favorite movies of all time. So I would really like to get to The Fellowship of the Ring so I can read the book and watch the movie simultaneously. It's never enough Lord of the Rings for me. I love these books so dearly, and I love the movie so dearly, so would love to continue on with my read of The Lord of the Rings. The next question is there a book you think could still shock you and become your favorite book of the year? Yes, I think there are 2 books that could become my favorite books of the year. And the first one is Piranesi. I've just heard genuinely the most amazing things about this book. Like, you would have thought this book like saved someone's mother. People rave about Piranesi, and it's won a women's prize for fiction, so that's promising. I love Greek mythology, and I've always loved Greek mythology retellings. I've loved everyone I've read has been 4 or 5 stars, so I could totally see this being absolutely one of my favorites. I've never read anything about Piranesi, so I'm super intrigued to see what it's about, and I'm just very excited. So this one is definitely a predicted 5-star, so hopefully it won't let me down. And then another one is Winter Garden by Kristen Hanna, another one on my 2025 TBR. I've just rated every Kristen Hanna book I've ever read 5 stars, so I feel like there's pretty good hope for this one, and I would like to read it in December because December is just wintry. November is still fall for me, and I want to read Winter Garden, like a winter month. So would love to read this in December. We'll see if we get to it, but if we do get to it, I could see it being a 5-star. And then the next question is, have you already started making reading plans for next year? And you guys know I have. I'm not organized, but I'm a planner. I plan to be organized. So does it happen? No, but I am a planner, and I'm always thinking like 3 steps ahead. So some reading plans I have is to read Rhythm of War. That is if I read Oathbringer. So, and that needs to happen to read Rhythm of War. I guess I could read both, but who wants to do that when you could do one at a time? I don't know. So hopefully I can get to Rhythm of War. One of my goals is always to read a 1,000-page book a year, so I would love to get to that so I could read the Rhythm of War. Another goal is, of course, more reading, less scrolling. That's always a goal, but I really want to lock in on it next year because I definitely fell behind on my reading goals this year, and I very much attribute a lot of that to scrolling, and it got a lot better once I started timing myself on the app, but I have to be better about it all of next year. And then another one is I want to read 2 classics. I've read 1 so far this year. I read Jane Eyre and I loved it. So next year, I don't know if I'll read another one by the end of the year, but if I don't, that's okay. But I definitely want to. Oh, I read an Agatha Christie. Is that a classic? I guess. Maybe I did read 2. But I do want to up it and read 2 more. I want to start to expand my taste. I have classics on my shelf that I want to read. Another one is, this does include a classic. I really want to read the Iliad. My mom and I have made it a goal to read the Iliad and the Odyssey for the movie that's coming out, and I don't know why we torture ourselves like this, but I did buy it. I have it. It's a long one. She's thick. But I do want to read this next year because I need to get to the Odyssey before the movie in like 2027. But like, I have a feeling it's going to sneak up on me. So I want to get to this next year and then read the Odyssey the year after. We'll see. Would love to read this. Another reading plan is to just be better in general about updating my reading journal. My reading journal has been not too great this year, so I need to be better about that because I love it and I love looking back on it. Also, this year I did put my reading goal as 100 books, and that's the first year I've done that, and I am going to be putting it back to my normal of 75. I just feel like 100 was way too much pressure. Also, looking at next year, I start student teaching and I will be starting like my career, so I don't want to put a ton of pressure on myself. So we'll be bringing myself back down to earth for a bit and going back to 75, which is still a ton of books, and it's a goal I've reached pretty seamlessly every year since I was like in high school. So it's not a goal that like stresses me out like 100 books does. And then lastly, just to read more books on my physical TBR and do less book shopping, because I just really want to get my books dwindled a little bit and not have such an overwhelming physical TBR. So hopefully that will happen. I said I'd do that this year and that didn't really happen, so we'll see. Then last question is plans for the end of the year, and I have a few. It's gonna be final season soon, so I'm not like stressing myself about it too much, but a few plans I have is finish Oathbringer. I obviously don't need to discuss that one again. I also have 2 holiday books that I just bought, so I will be definitely getting to Holly and Good Spirits. These are 2 I'm super excited about. I've loved BK Borison's holiday reads, and this one just intrigues me because I love these characters from Belladonna, and now it's like a holiday novella. It just seems like kind of off-brand for them, but definitely curious, so I'm excited about these. Last one is just to prep my reading journal for the new year, which I always really look forward to. But yeah, for the end of the year, it's really just finish Oathbringer and those 2 holiday books that I really want to lock in on, and the rest is just surviving finals and hopefully not get into a massive reading slump like I did last year. But I've been doing pretty good. This time last year, the slump had already hit, so doing better already. But that is the end of the end of year tag. I just absolutely love this tag. I love thinking about plans. I love thinking about reevaluating my goals and talking about next year. Like, it just gets me all very excited. I absolutely adore this time of year, so I have so much fun thinking about like plans and all that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this week's video. I will have a reading vlog up next week, so I'm so sorry for a little break from the reading vlogs, but we will have one next week. So thank you for being patient with me. Also, thank you again so much to the sponsor of this video, Lolalet. I absolutely adore this jewelry case, and remember, if you would like this case as well, the link for it is in my description for a $5 coupon. If you want more information on these jewelry cases, that is also in the description. But thank you guys so much again for watching and supporting my channel. It absolutely means the world to me. If you like me or my channel, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate each and every one of you. Let me know in the comments what your end of year reading plan is. I'm very curious on what you are thinking like you want to accomplish before the end of the year. But thank you guys so much again for watching, and I hope you guys have the most fabulous week, and I will see you guys so soon. Bye!